Living in accordance with reality means that however reality, existence, or the immediate presence actually is, that is what we are. We are that very reality, existence, and immediate presence. That's all. It's even simpler than a joke. And yet, people cultivate practice with furrow brows and tense faces. So in the end, what are we doing? We are just continuing the game of imposing or laying memory and knowledge over the present. What else are we really doing? We spend our entire spiritual life doing this, imposing memory and knowledge onto the present, the immediate presence. Take a moment and reflect on this. Isn't this true? Take the example of studying the law of independent origination. We understand that this thing arises due to cause and conditions. It didn't exist before, and now something appears. Like this flower, we analyze it and say that many petals come together to make a flower. Or each petal is made of many cells. We get caught up in this kind of analysis. Eventually, we declare, now I understand this flower. It's a compound of causes and conditions. But isn't that absurd? Let's stop doing useless things. Let's stop the excess. Just rest and be spaces. I see you all are already so exhausted, so weary. Don't add more weight to our presence. Now, can we accept that this present reality is something genuinely authentic? Do we see it as genuine or as illusion? This is the truth, no matter how anyone names it, or how it's proven through anything else. Ultimately, we all arrive here at this present reality. On the level of mind, we can accept this. This is no longer about living through imposition. Once we stop doing that, we naturally have enough clarity. I mean just that, enough clarity. Not necessarily meditative equipoise or samadhi. Just enough clarity to listen as it is. That's all. Hearing is as hearing. No longer I am hearing. Always as it is, not I am or I am doing anymore. Yes, hearing is as hearing. Exactly. It's no longer merely hearing, is simply hearing. I used to love it when I first heard the Zen Master Bodhi said, hearing is simply hearing. At the time, I listened to everything through layers of imposition and a discriminating mind. So a teaching like that really touches me. But later on, I realized if hearing is still being bound too simply, then how can we truly hear? That's already too much. There's no such thing as hearing is knowing I am hearing. No more. I raise my hand, so I raise my hand. No more. I lower my hand, so I lower it. No more. I speak, so I speak. If you keep practicing like that, I ate is I ate. Then be careful. One day you might joke. Eat is just eat. Don't add the R to it. And yet, some teachings still tell people to practice like this. I raise my hand, so I raise my hand. That's like waving yellow leaves to amuse a 3-year-old. But we are all grown now. I don't see anyone here who's still young. We've all passed through countless lifetimes of exhausting effort already. Now is the time to let go and feel light. Simply, Hearing is as hearing. Seeing is as seeing. No before, no after. Before sound, there is the hearing of no sound. When sound arises, we hear sound appearing. When sound fades, there's the gap of no sound again. And we hear that too. We hear them exactly as they are. That's all. That is living truly. Stop imposing. However, our lives are constantly imposed upon. And not just in this life, it's been going on for countless lifetimes. That's why when people ask me about the way, I often don't want to answer. I never really want to teach a practice method unless someone is truly suffering, and then I might offer some simple breathing guidance just to help them ease the burden. But honestly, I don't dare to teach practice, because the moment you take up a method, you risk getting stuck in it. And once you are stuck, it's hard to let go. In the beginning, people stumble around. Practice doesn't work. Frustration sets in. Then one day, this and that practice seems to work. And that's when it's become hardest to drop. But why do we practice in the first place? To see things as they truly are, right? So if the goal is to see what's already real, already here, and I'm pointing directly at this very reality, then why aren't you seeing it? How long do you think you need to keep practicing in order to see what's already right in front of you? If we can see it clearly, right in the instant presence, then that's it. Just relax. Rest in leisure. Seeing things clearly as they are is resting in leisure. When you feel sleepy, lie down and sleep. Don't spin more thoughts. Don't impose anything on anything. Reality is always reality. But the problem is we won't leave it alone. We bring the past memory, knowledge and impose them onto reality. We need to clearly see this. So, what do we really have in the present moment? All of us are right here in the present. We have never left it. This is the period we need to draw. We've never left the present, not for even a single tiniest mental moment, even though we haven't dissolved the ego yet, even though we live from our ego. That ego too is appearing right now in the present. So we can say temporarily that the ego sees, hears, smells, tastes, etc. That's acceptable. But even so, we must see that we never leave the present. The real question now is, do we still want to keep imposing illusions onto the present? That's all. So what is practice? Or how do we practice cultivation? Today let's answer and define it. What is practice cultivation? Practice cultivation is nothing at all. That would be the most direct answer. It is not doing anything, not adding anything, not removing anything. However, if we must offer an answer the world can understand, then it's simply this. We stop imposing memory onto the reality of the immediate presence. Reality in the immediate presence is always the truth, but it is constantly veiled by our memory. That's all. If we truly want to see things as they are, we must stop imposing or layering memory onto the present, onto this immediate presence, and then we will see rightly. To live in truth is simply to stop imposing or overlaying memory on the presence. Then we are living truthfully. And from that presence, we can speak the truth. not from before, not from after, but from the instant presence itself. That is the way. That's it. Practice cultivation is just that much. So, shall we take a break now? The other day, that old man scolded me. But right now, he isn't scolding you at all. He's just shown up without saying a single harsh word. Yet, you are still dragging up the old memory of him scolding you before. The day he scolded you was that day. It was a different time. Now, in this moment, he is purely present. He is here, clearly appears here, and hasn't uttered a single insult. It's only because you insist on clutching that memory and pulling it into yourself. It's the same when we see someone as lovable. Lovable because of what? Because countless old memories come flooding back, coloring the present moment that way. But in truth, there's no real loving or hating going on. Whatever appears is, in its very nature, already silent, quiescent, without any coloring of love or hate, right or wrong, good or bad. So let all phenomena live in their original flavor. Why should we interfere? Why should we slap labels on them? The real issue is that we are always putting labels on phenomena. Whatever we see, we quickly place the love label or the hate label on it. Beautiful or ugly, right or wrong, good or bad. We are clearly making it all up. And we love to take our memories and paste them onto the present. Has this all game made you tired yet? Ask yourself if you are tired of it. If you're tired, then stop. Just see what's here as it is, and that's the end of it. Easier than biting through a grain of rice. Now ask yourself, what more do you want? If you want to live in accord with reality, then don't impose memories on the present. That's all. Nothing to add, nothing to take away, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. There's no need to gain and no need to lose. If you want to live in accord with reality, then reality as such is always here. Therefore, never impose memory upon it, and you'll be living truly in its original, whole state of essence. Today, being able to share this with you brings me great joy, because I've given you something incredibly simple yet complete. Whether old or young, anyone can do it. There's nothing difficult about the path of practice. So why do we keep making things up, making things complicated? If someone else wants to keep making things up, that's their business. But for me, I want to speak the truth. I'm not saying all of this to destroy anyone's fabrications. Well, if they enjoy elaborations, they can keep them. But because the Buddha thought that the wise one sees as it is, lives as it is, and speaks as it is, so we too have the right to see as it is, to live as it is. No one can take that right away from us. That is our own freedom. And we are always present in the reality of this very moment, always seeing just as it is, just as such. Doesn't it mean something to you? Seeing things as they truly are with direct insight, one will automatically live in accordance with reality. Because Bodhisattvas realize that all dharmas are inherently pure and quiescent. They are called the ones who abide peacefully in the purity and quiescence of the dharmas. Once one sees things as they truly are, the term peacefully abiding is appropriate. Some other words might also work, but peacefully abiding is concise and fitting. Living in true stillness cannot be any other way. There's no other way to live, no alternative way to exist when one lives the truth. So, how have we lived this morning thus far? If anyone feels they haven't truly lived in alignment with the present quiescence, that means they haven't truly seen it yet. Let's reflect on ourselves then. So they will come when we move, sit, stand, lie down, all in sweetness and quiescence, and we can't live any other way. Then that means we've truly seen reality. To truly see reality is not the same as to understand it. Understanding it correctly means we might try to imitate a similar understanding. We try to live like the truth, not live the truth. But when we directly see the truth correctly, we live the truth correctly. There is a difference. We understand and then we try to live accordingly. But once we see the truth correctly, we naturally live the truth correctly. These are not the same. In my life, I met a teacher who seemed to understand everything. He truly was brilliant, and I saw how he tried his best to live according to the Dharma. It was touching. He was a teacher I idolized when I first entered the monastery. This was back in 1985, 40 years ago. He seemed so free and at ease. I was so impressed because back then I was stuck to everything I encountered. And he would stand there talking, feel itchy, and just lift his robe and scratch casually. I stood there amazed, wondering, how can someone be so at ease? I admired deeply, because when I practiced, I felt shy, cautious, always maintaining appearances. But he was so relaxed, so free. He also had a special smile. But over time, I realized he had a very accurate understanding of Zen. His reasoning was spot on, but it was simply a conscious-based understanding. And he tried to live like what he understood, not as the truth itself. Let's use the word to live like to refer to mimicking understanding, and live truly to refer to living from direct insight. To live truly is to live the Dharma, which comes from seeing truly. So seeing truly leads to living truly, whereas understanding truly only leads to mimicking truth. As the Zen saying goes, it may look the same, but it's not the same. Some people are very intelligent. They reason accurately, they understand precisely, and they live like they're understanding. Why? Because they're using their memory to impose or to shape the present. They don't actually live the truth as it is. To live truly doesn't acquire knowledge or memory. That's the truth or the reality we need to realize. So if from this morning until now, you've listened and felt a profound sweetness, and from now on you naturally live that sweetness, then you have seen truly. But if your life still feels clumsy or awkward, and if you still choke a little on this sweetness, then you're still in the stage of consciously understanding it and trying to live it or imitate it. understanding is not the same as true seeing. Never forget, understanding is not true seeing. There's a huge difference between the two. Once you have some spiritual experience, you clearly see how understanding and true seeing are vastly different. You might hear someone speak about the Dharma, and the words may sound exactly like the scriptures. But if you listen closely, you sense whether it's spoken from the head or from direct reality. The same words, different energy. The one who understands speaks from knowledge and belief. The one who truly sees speaks directly from his own living insights. That's the difference. The text speaks of Bodhisattvas peacefully abiding in the quiescence of all dharmas, which means they can't be separated from this reality anymore. Abiding usually means holding on to something, but here it means they can no longer fall back, cannot see differently, cannot live differently. At this point, there's no more regression. They are truly irreversible. But what about us? From this morning till now, if you haven't yet broken through all patterns, then you should go back and re-listen to the morning part. Reheat it over and again until it becomes just like porridge. The morning teachings alone are enough to live for thousands of lifetimes. I dare sign that promise for you. One listen isn't enough to absorb it. If you haven't broken through, go back and listen again. Our approach here applies to all religions, not just Buddhism, because it speaks of truth. Truth belongs to no religion. Anyone can hear it and live it fully. That's seeing truly, whether you are a long-time Buddhist, a new one, ordained or lay. If you hear the morning teachings and live sweetly and accordingly, then you've seen it truly. At that moment, you find it impossible to impose something onto reality. It means you no longer have the capacity to be in the old way. You can't go back to the old way. And this means you find you are no longer the same person. To live truly is to be completely different from before. You are no longer your old self. Even if you want to go back to the old way, you can't. Because the present moment, the pristine presence is completely new and fresh. And by not imposing the past on it, it remains forever new, forever fresh. Every moment is fresh, so you can't go back to being the old self. If someone asks your name, just say, I forgot. You are nothing. So you can't impose any identity, not even a name or age. You've lost the self completely. That's true seeing. If you still think you are someone, you are still self-imposing. Of course, if we haven't seen the truth, then we'll keep struggling. Not just this life, but countless lifetimes. But if right here, right now, you see, then no matter how you walk, stand, live or die, you are living from that seeing. That true seeing transcends all frameworks. It's simple and I guarantee everyone can do it. So we've heard it and understood it. This body is not me, not mine, and not myself. But with that understanding, what have we really gained? Have we truly broken through the identity view or the view of body as ourselves? Not yet. We still have the same body as before. We still see it as real. We still try to protect and preserve it just like before. We say that we cultivate and practice in this way or that way to annihilate the self. But what happens when someone criticizes us? We feel uncomfortable right away, don't we? That discomfort can show us something very clearly. This name of ours and this reputation of ours is still so important to us. Our imagined self still means a lot to us. So we become very defensive whenever someone touches it, offending us. At the root of it, we are still afraid of having this elusive soul grasping, offended, afraid of losing it altogether. We must affirm this together. The self-attachment or self-grasping is completely elusive in itself. Because if we look deeply with a discerning mind, we see that this body, made of 4 elements, doesn't truly exist. And without a body, there are no sense organs. Without sense organs, there's no contact with sense objects. And without that contact, there's no memory, no joy or sorrow, no love or hatred. In that light, there is no body, no mind. We need to replay this insight of no body, no mind daily, every single day, as if engaging in a sacred ritual in the solemn Dharma hall.